What's up, everybody? This is Slab City TV. I hope everyone is keeping warm. Before we commence, I want to encourage everybody that's listening to just be themselves. To keep you warm. Oh my! Before we commence, I want to encourage everybody that's listening. Okay then. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I had my YouTube on. I took that off. Like I was saying, I want to encourage everybody listening to just be themselves, to follow your dreams, be positive, be real, and don't take things personal. I'm here with a controversial personality from Slab City. Some people like him, some people don't. Peter made a name for himself in Slab City with his charismatic personality. I know that many have been waiting to hear an update on Peter's situation since he left Slab City. Many have been wondering where he is, how it is that he's doing, if he's doing okay, if he's not doing okay, and just what in the world is going on with Peter. And other people have been wanting to know, why did Peter leave Slab City? There's a lot of rumors going around. Some people like Peter, some people don't. And hopefully we'll get some answers from Peter today. Peter, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Carlos.
Thank you for joining us, Peter. How are you?
Hey, Carlos. I'm doing great.
Awesome. So, Peter, where in the world are you right now? People have been wanting to know where you are.
Carlos, I'm right outside of Seattle, Washington. I'm actually outside of Tacoma, Washington, to be specific. I'm at the base of Mount Rainier, right by the Puget Sound, in a town called Stanaway.
Stanaway, all right. So what are you
Yeah,
doing there?
I got a job at Goodwill.
You got a job?
Yes, I'm employed. I work 9 to 5 at Goodwill here in Stanaway.
A slabber got a job. Wow, that is something. I mean, because slabbers don't get jobs, right? Is that correct?
It is hard to assimilate, and the longer you stay in Slab City, the more difficult it is to assimilate.
Right. Do you want to go ahead and explain why that is?
Oh, really, I think everybody moves to Slab City because they're anti-establishment to begin with. And then once you stay in the Slab City for a certain period of time, you don't really, you feel almost uncomfortable returning to Babylon. And I was one of the few people that got out of Slab City and got back into Babylon and found a regular job. They started me off at part-time. They offered me a full-time position. So at this point, the sky's the limit.
That's good to hear. So was it hard for you to assimilate back? Because I know you were 4 years in Slab City. So was it hard to go back into Babylon?
Yes, here's the deal is I was very fortunate. Number one, when I got back into Babylon, I already had my birth certificate, my social security card. So when I chose to get a job, I didn't have to go get an ID. Here's the other thing I had going for me is I had a couple $1,000s saved up to live off of. So when I moved out of Slab City, I could live off my savings for a couple of months and just take a break. Believe me, after 4 years in Slab City, when you get back to suburbia, like you want to take showers and you want to just relax and have all the things that you don't have in Slab City, you really appreciate when you move back into Babylon, like hot running water, garbage service, a refrigerator, a stove that works, an oven. Oh my God, I didn't bake for 4 years, now I'm baking again. I think I kind of got off my point there. What was the question again, Carlos?
Okay, no, that's you answered it. You answered it. Okay, now let me ask another question in regards to what you just said right now, because a lot of people make Slab City as this place that is wonderful and amazing, and by what you just said right now, and I'm sure that you're not the only one that feels this way. There's many other people in Slab City that feel the same way as you do. They would like running water. They would like, a toilet running of a toilet with connected to a drain system, a hot shower, air conditioning, um, so why do you think people? I mean, like why do people choose to go to Slab City and leave all of that stuff?
Oh, Carlos, this is a fact about Slab City. You don't really choose to go there. Slab City calls you. And once you're summoned to go to Slab City, there's nothing you can do to escape its gravitational pull. Slab City is trying to build itself. Slab City is a living, breathing entity, and it's trying to build itself into something, and it uses humans to accomplish what it's trying to do. What happens is, as soon as a person is aware of Slab City, then Slab City can call them. And some people, everybody there is drawn to Slab City in one way or another. And same with leaving the city. Once Slab City is done with you, you have to leave. If you don't, there's consequences.
Okay. And do you think that's what happened to you?
It was absolutely my time to leave Slab City. I played in the playground. I played hard as I could for 4 years. I was successful. I started with nothing. I built an empire and I left it behind for the next person. I think that's exactly what you're supposed to do in Slab City. Go create something out of nothing and leave everything that you created behind for the next person. And then they'll create something out of that, and then they will leave it behind for the next person, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. There's I'm just gonna ask you right now. There's many rumors circling, about your treatment of women. Is any of that true? You could just clarify that now, so people could listening could know.
Yeah, none of that's true. I never did anything with anybody that wasn't completely mutual in Slab City. There's some people that I'm not going to name that really got jealous. Here's the deal. I think you can relate to this. The more successful you get, the more trolls you have. I just simply had some trolls that started some rumors. And once something's generated in the gossip mill, other weak-minded people might follow along with that,
Right. Okay.
And that's another reason I wanted to leave Slab City, because of the gossip mill and all the, all
Okay.
that kind of stuff. The drugs, the drama, my conflict with my neighbor. And when somebody finally told me that Slab City didn't need me anymore, I took that as a sign directly from God.
Okay.
And left town as quickly as I could. Here's the deal. I left town because I had somewhere else to go. If you're in Slab City and it's summertime, you're only there because you got nowhere else to go.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that that's true. So for the haters, I mean, there you go. Peter answered it. I mean, but anyways, let's go. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so take us back to your decision to move to Slab City.
The decision to move to Slab City, like I told you, Slab City called me. I started watching videos. I was a caregiver to a lady with Alzheimer's, and I knew that at some point she was going to go to a retirement home. I was going to need to find another career. At the same time, I had a regular full-time job being a caregiver, but I would also sell my artwork in Portland on the weekends. I was pretty successful at it. So basically, when my career came to an end, when the family decided to put the lady into a retirement home, I decided to move to Slab City sight unseen. It was like I was called by God to go there.
Okay.
So I packed up, I got rid of most of my possessions. I packed up everything I could in my car and I moved to Slab City. And I want to make this clear, Carlos. The only reason I could do that was because I didn't have any credit card debt. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have child support. And I didn't have any sort of probation or anything with the law going on. Right. If you have any of those, you're kind of committed to finishing. If you got a mortgage, you got to pay that off. If you got credit card bills or car payments or anything like that, I owned my own car for an example. My insurance is extremely cheap. I could pay a year ahead of time before I even moved down there, So because of all that, I could move to Slab City. And here's the other thing. I always knew that if I kept my car and my birth certificate, my social security card, that I could always get out of Slab City. I always knew that I could leave if I wanted to. I just needed somewhere to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Okay, so I already asked you that one. Okay, so what was your how did you learn of Slab City, and what was your perception of it? Maybe.
I learned of Slab City through YouTube videos, and what I perceived was first Salvation Mountain, then East Jesus, and then what Builder Bill built at the range. I I was looking for the next chapter of my life, and I saw this just amazing art community. I watched Salvation Mountain. I saw Leonard Knight's work. I saw interviews with Leonard Knight, and I just felt such a connection. Like I could see myself being that crazy man. you know. And then I saw what Charlie what was his name? Charlie Russell, what he did over there at East Jesus. And then I saw what Builder Bill did at the range. And then I learned there was a whole community there. So that's how I found out about Slab City, was the YouTube videos. And by the way, they call it a vision board. I wrote salvation down on a piece of paper and stuck it on my mirror in my bathroom so I would see it every day. I manifested it. I was there within 4 months of writing that down on my vision board.
Salvation
Mountain. I wrote Salvation Mountain on a piece of paper, and I stuck it on my mirror, and I looked at it every day, and I was there within 4 months.
So walk us through your first year. How did that go?
Oh my God, my first year was incredibly every emotion you could ever have. I was terrified to be in the middle of the desert with nobody I knew, all alone. I was thrilled when I started meeting people and being accepted into the community. There was many cold, dark nights that I was lonely. There was many nights that the ranger was surrounded and had an abundance of friends around me. Every experience, my first year was new to me, like going to Mojo's camp for a music jam on Monday and the Ponderosa on Tuesday, and Wednesday at the Oasis Club, and going to breakfast at the Oasis Club in the morning for coffee, and it turning into a spontaneous music jam with like 25 musicians and 30 dogs running around. I mean, every emotion you could possibly imagine I experienced my first year in Slab City. It was incredible going to all those campfire jams and learning a whole new way to live. Water conservation. You learn the water conservation quickly. I adapted pretty quick. I was fortunate enough, Carlos, when I moved into town, I had a little bit of savings when I moved to Slab City, so I could live pretty comfortably my first year. But I knew that savings was going to run out quickly. So before my savings ran out, I discovered a way to sell art in Slab City, and that's why I started building an art gallery and a studio.
So, okay, that was your first year. What about your second year? Once you're in your second year, you already acclimated to Slab City, right? You had already learned the dynamics, the way that Slab City works. So how was your second year?
Okay. Yes, I learned the dynamics of Slab City, but I also was accepted into the community. For an example, I started selling miniature Salvation Mountains, but I had the support of the community behind me when I started doing it. I didn't just come into town and arrogantly start capitalizing off of something else already built. I came to town and made sure that people knew that my intentions were pure, and that I was a positive member, and I was trying to build something in Slab City, something with a color and something they didn't have before, I had a real vision, and I got the support of the community behind me before I started really building that vision, So my first year was getting the vision and getting acclimated. My second year was actually building an art studio and a gallery. And I got a lot of advice from a lot of people, and I did everything everybody told me. I built this amazing gallery and studio, and Carlos, nobody came. A couple of people kind of trickled in, my spider web did catch a couple of flies, but So I started having these conversations with God or with source energy or whatever you want to call it. I started saying, hey, man, I did everything you asked. I made all these sacrifices, and right around then people started coming. And then the people from the Los Angeles Times came by one